You're listening to Tax Talk with Dana on DS Entertainment Network.
All right. Good evening, boys and girls. It is that time. That special moment that we've all been waiting for. It is time for that big first batch update for the Path Act tax filers. Hope everyone is having a good night. I know we're getting ready. Caitlin and I are feeling a little under the weather tonight, but we're going to push through because I'm a man of the people and I'm here for you guys. So hopefully we're going to all be seeing some updates tonight. Path was released officially today, which means the transcripts should start updating by tomorrow. Going to have some slides. We'll be going through the what I believe the timeline is going to be for everything. Really, this is just an opportunity for us all to celebrate, get together for that special time of year we all wait. We have our celebratory beverages ready to go. To quote the late, great Tupac Shakur, break out the champagne glasses and mother effing condoms. Not sure what the condoms have to do with the context of tonight, but Tupac was perhaps the greatest rapper of all time, a great lyricist, and perhaps a prophet, and was warning us all that if we were to have those little future tax credits, that the government will be withholding our tax refunds for weeks at a time. So that's what we're here for tonight. Path has finally lifted. I hope you're all as pumped as I am, because my car needs to get fixed. Joining me tonight, of course, is the beautiful Caitlin Scott. Caitlin, how are we doing?
Doing great. Feeling a little sick, but hanging in there.
All right. Honey, why don't you go through the chat, shout some people out, and I'm going to pour some beverages.
All right, it looks like we have a lot of nice comments already. So Juggernaut9 says, this channel has been a lifesaver. Back in 2022, H&R made a mistake and it was causing me issues. But lucky for me, I came across this channel. I made sure I show up every year to show support. Well, we appreciate your support, Juggernaut9. Thank you. Annie says, hi everyone, I'm so excited. Russell says hello. GV says, hello, hi y'all, back for the past 3 years in a row now. Josh's Adventure says, I've been coming to this channel for about 3 to 4 years now. The info he gives me on when dispatch happens and the issues that occur and how to fix is a stress reducer. Plus, sometimes we get to see his art.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Very nice art.
Cheers, honey.
Oh yes, cheers. It is very good. Our sparkling apple cider. Big Ant says, I'm ready. What's up, everybody? Jules Justice says, it's that time. Mia Serrano waves. Paige Rick says, back for 3. You're waiting for Path Party updates.
Wow. Thank you for that, Caitlin. Thank you for filling in while I was pouring our beverages. Lovely to see everyone tonight. I'm very happy to see you all. So let's get to the slides, and then if anyone has questions, we will be answering the questions. So let me pull this slide up here, and there we go. So, as I've mentioned before, tonight is the first really big batch update for the Path filers. So everyone that had earned income tax credit and additional child tax credit have been waiting for this day. Mid-February is when the law says they can officially start releasing those refunds. So this is traditionally, this week is the week that the biggest amount of those refunds get processed by the earlier filers. So beginning later tonight, early Friday morning, the transcript system will begin updating. So people that have 04s, 05s are going to start seeing some of those updates. Bear in mind that the update continues. It's a rolling update throughout Friday. So even if you get a partial update in the morning or you don't update at all, you could still end up updating later in the day. Just because there's like literally hundreds of thousands of transcripts that update throughout the day, so it takes time for the system to transpose it all. The reason being is like the Where's My Refund tool updates once a day because basically it's updating whether someone was processed or not. So it's basically like, did this person process or did they not? Whereas the transcript system has, hundreds of lines of code for each return that they have to transpose from one system to the other, as far as codes, action codes, mathematical equations to determine certain things. So there's all sorts of things that gets transposed on the transcript, so it takes time for the system to transfer all that information. So anyone that does end up seeing that 846 refund issue code tomorrow on Friday will wake up on Saturday morning when the Where's My Refund tool updates, and they should see the 2 bars with a deposit date of February 22nd, which is Thursday. And then after this week, whenever there's a Friday update, the direct deposits will be issued for Wednesday, but because President's Day next week is a holiday, all of those refunds are going to get pushed back one day. So Thursday is going to be the first official direct deposit date for the path filers. That said, if you have a non-traditional bank, banks like so a couple of caveats here. If you have a non-traditional bank like Chime or NetSpend, even in some cases like Green Dot cards, some of those cards will release funds as soon as they receive them. Meaning, even though the government schedules that deposit for next Thursday, they might send them out. Actually, I know for a fact they start sending them out tomorrow. In other words, when refund issue codes start popping up tomorrow, they're actually sending the banks notices that they're going to be depositing that money. So I have seen no-hold banks actually release those as early as Friday or Saturday. So there may be some people that even though they're scheduled for next Thursday, they could actually get them as soon as Friday. Although maybe with the holiday that might get pushed back too. But I suppose anything is possible. So generally speaking, if you have the 846, you can count on Friday. If you get it, you can count on getting it next Thursday, the money itself. But if it comes sooner, then that's a bonus, I suppose. Covered this information. So the timeline. So transcripts can update as early as 12 a.m., but I've been watching the transcript updates as they occur this year so far. And most of the updates have started slowly trickling in around 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. There's like a slow trickle of updates here and there, and then there's like a massive batch of updates that seems to occur between 5:30 a.m. and like 8 a.m. Eastern time, and then the rest of the day there's like another slow trickle of more updates. So who's going to update? Hopefully, with any luck, most people will update. We should start seeing a lot of those NAs disappear, so people that have been NA for a couple weeks, as long as there's no issues, hopefully those will disappear for you, and your transcripts will be available. People that did update, for example, last week there was a big path update from people that were NA for a while last week, suddenly had their transcripts available last week, but just no 846 code. So as long as those transcripts last week, when they updated from NA to being available, as long as there was no hold codes, then you should be updating with an 846 code tomorrow. And lastly, if you update either with a hold code or you don't get an update, maybe you're still NA, or maybe your transcripts become do update, but there is no 846 code by the end of the day, then that just means that your tax return wasn't fully processed in that week's batch, and it's going to be pushed back another week at least. So just some things to keep in mind. You just also remember, if your transcript does update, but you also get a freeze code, a 570. There's been some other freeze codes I've seen pop up this year too. Your refund will not be issued until that hold is resolved. Now, there's no way for sure to know what the hold is, but one thing you can do is go into that id.me account and check and see if there's any letters from the IRS yet. Because in some cases, if there's like a verification letter, you should be able to do that online, get it sorted out, and then hopefully, as long as you do it fairly quick enough, you can get updated within the next week or two. But there's various reasons that people get held up. So that said, I'm going to go back in through the chat here. Caitlin addressed some people. Let's see what we have here. Now, granted, there's already a lot of people in chat, everyone, so I might not get to you, or I might have to go back and backtrack. So if I don't get to you right away, don't fret. I will do my best. So, Waves of Tragedy says, I need that 846 code. Yes, I agree. Grace, last year when I updated, my 846 came the same day. So, Grace, that is a prime example of what I was talking about with the no-hold banks. So, like I said, once they've, on the transcript, indicated that they've scheduled a deposit date, the IRS generally will start sending the banks notification that they will be depositing that money. So a lot of those no-hold banks can, as long as they've received that notice, make that money available. Same thing with Big Homie Snow Nizzle. Chime last year gave it to me 6 days early. Yes, Chime is one of those no-hold banks. If you did do a refund advance through like H&R Block or TurboTax, don't count on getting it early. Because those refunds have to go through the third party bank. In most cases, it's the SB TPG bank, TPG Tax Products Group, and they hold those funds as long as they possibly can. So if you got a refund advance, you're going to probably have to wait until the day of your scheduled deposit date. Let's see here. Okay. The Curries. How long after you submit documents do I need to wait? Will it take 6 to 8 weeks like the letter said? It should not take 6 to 8 weeks. That's a little buffer they give themselves. In theory, it could take that long, but in most cases, once you've submitted everything, in most cases, it is usually resolved within the next 2 weeks. Just traditionally through what I've seen over time, it generally takes them. I should put the caveat here is that I'm assuming you're talking about identity verification documents. If it's something like income verification, that could take a little bit longer. It still might not take 6 to 8 weeks though. Even if it's something like income verification, it could take within that 2 week span. It might take an extra week or two past that as well. But generally speaking, if you're proactive and you get whatever they request of you in right away, it usually can resolve itself within a couple weeks. There are some cases where things are like beyond messed up, or something got really screwed up in the system, and it can take longer. I see here, you got a letter 12C. Let me check my reference here. Yeah, so that is like an income match. So the 12C, yeah, that is an income thing. So those can take a little bit longer than like a standard identity verification. They want to make sure that everything that you submitted for withholding, the earned income you had, matches up properly with the documents that get submitted to them from the other end, from like whatever employers you might have or anyone else that would have given you income. They have to match all that up. So sometimes that can take a little bit longer than like the 2 week I gave you. So hopefully, as long as everything was submitted properly on the other end as well, it shouldn't take the full 6 to 8 weeks, but it certainly can. That's the best I can tell you on that. Unfortunately, you're at the will. In those cases, you're at the will not just of the IRS, but of anyone else that would have issued you, whether it be a W-2 or a 1099 that they have to match up to. Paige wants to know, did we do anything special for Valentine's Day? Caitlin?
Dana got me chocolate and we were sick, so he made me soup and sandwich to feel better. And our youngest son went to his first dance, so kind of overwhelmed with that.
Yes, his little boo thing, as he likes to call her.
She's his friend. I'm not ready for that. He's little.
Caitlin's having a very hard time dealing with our children growing up. We have 3 teenagers now, so.
So many babies.
Okay. Phantasma Ghost. What if I never got the path message, but I'm claiming credits? Is that, and it just said processing? Yep. There are people that just never see the path message. We have never gotten the path message. Since path has been enacted on Where's My Refund, we have not once gotten the path message. So nothing to worry about as far as, you can't read into that, whether you get it or not. Grace is so happy to be here and been looking forward all week. So have we. Desperately waiting for, like I said, my car needs to get fixed. Unfortunately, this is one of those years where we actually need the refund for nothing fun, unfortunately. Yvette said, hello, Mr. Dana and Kate. Wouldn't trust anyone with my tax questions. Been here 3 years and counting. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Yvette. Mia asked, if I verified last year, am I going to have to do it again this year too? When I enter my information, it says information doesn't match. Interesting. A lot of times, if it says your information doesn't match, they haven't accepted it into the system yet. So that's strange. You shouldn't have to verify 2 years in a row. Once you've verified once, you shouldn't have to verify again. Here's a question, Mia. Maybe I won't see it right away because the chat is kind of delayed, but just if you're still here and listening, have you earlier this tax season after you filed, have you seen your information, or has it literally said every time you've tried to check, has it said the information doesn't match? Yes and no. Wants to know what the cutoff time was for early filers. Pretty much anyone that filed after Monday this week would be probably have missed this week's cutoff. You probably would have had to have been filed and accepted by this past Monday. Yeah, this is not too bad. Biggie Les wants to know, if you have an offset, how long will it take to get the refund back? Offsets, generally speaking, they usually don't delay it too much. I mean, unless the offset takes up the entire refund, in which case you wouldn't be getting anything. But generally speaking, if it's something, especially if it's like a government offset from like another agency, they can usually resolve that pretty quick. They would take out whatever money and issue it. You'd see that reflected on the transcript a lot of times the same week. if it's from a non-government agency, sometimes it can take a little bit longer to sort that stuff out. Waves of Tragedy said, mine updated at 12 a.m. I'm just waiting for the 846. Third year back. I must say you've all been on point with it. Thanks. I'm ready for my money. Yes, indeed. We all are. Juggernaut wants to know, can your transcript go from NA to 846 in the same update? It absolutely can. And does for many people. It can go from NA to 846 in the same update. Can't guarantee it will happen, especially if there is an issue with the return. Earlier this year, I've made several videos on this so far this year, but this has been a record year for identity verifications. They have pulled more tax returns for identity verification this year than they have in any recent year I can remember. So in those cases, a lot of those cases, the NA is still there for those people that have identity verification issues. But the one good thing is, even though they're issuing more of those, they're letting people know in Where's My Refund if there is an identity verification issue. So if you don't see that message in Where's My Refund, you're probably okay, which means you could absolutely see an 846 the same day. TNG Wimbley, I got mine the same day the transcript updated, and more confirmation on those no-hold banks that can possibly make those refunds available the same day. Waves of Tragedy wants to know, if my transcript updated at 12 a.m., should I see my 846 code soon? You absolutely could possibly, as long as there's no hold codes on there. Jules, if we don't see an 846 code, will it continue to update over the weekend? No, once the end of business tomorrow closes, that is it for those weekly updates. So really, ideally, if you were going to update tomorrow, you were going to see it probably by 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So you really want to have that update by tomorrow. And the big bulk, like I said, the big bulk of those updates will occur sometime in the morning, but they do keep updating throughout the day, just because it does take them a while to get through all those returns. Big Homie says, my transcript has the 766 and 768 so far. That's good. That's a good sign. That is a good sign if those are the only codes you have. If your transcript's blank and shows zeros, that just means your return hasn't hit the system yet. It very well could update in this weekly batch update, and you could see it populate with all those numbers this week. Another one that has everything but the 846 code. That's a good sign. Hopefully you'll be part of that big update tonight, tomorrow morning. Christelle, I am lost. How do I do this again? Okay, so this year is a little bit different than it's been in previous years. Because you used to have the IRS login page. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see this. Okay. I'm going to get me and Caitlin out of the way here. Sorry, Caitlin. You'll be back. So I'm on the IRS webpage here. And if you'll see individual, sign into my account. And that's what you want to go to. And this year, if you don't have an ID.me account, you have to have an ID.me account this year. So what you would do is, if you have one already, you just sign in with your ID.me account. If you don't, you have to create an ID.me account. They've eliminated those former IRS accounts that they used to have. They tried to do it 2 years ago. And then there was a bunch of organizations that were up in arms claiming it would violate privacy to force everyone to do ID.me. And then they kind of snuck it in this year without making a big deal out of it. And now it's the only way to log in and see your transcripts. So if you're going to sign up for the ID.me account and you don't have one yet, I recommend you do it on your cell phone because it does require you to take a selfie. It basically asks for your license and it asks you to take a selfie, and it just matches up the information, and then it creates the IRS account for you. And from there, it looks like it always has. And you just go into the transcripts section where it says get transcripts, and the page should open up. Let's see. What I can do here is remove this for now. Welcome back, Keelan. All right, back into the chat here. The transcript update. Okay, what time does the transcripts update? At 12 a.m. or 7 a.m.? They update all day. So they'll start updating around... They can start updating around 12. Like I said, this year, most of the updates I've seen have started around 1 a.m., but they can update around 12 a.m. And they just trickle up throughout the morning at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. That's when you start seeing a lot of people start seeing those updates. And then just throughout the rest of the day, there's more and more updates sprinkled. Just as an example, last week, we were NA up until last week. I checked it at 5 a.m. I was still NA. And then at 6 a.m. I checked again, and our transcripts were available, but there was nothing on them. I checked again at like 7:30, expecting to see something. There was nothing on them. And then I checked again at I was like, all right, I'll give it. Maybe it's not going to update today. And then at around 9:30 a.m., I checked again, and then all of a sudden we had codes populated. So it just happens throughout the day where they just update. They keep updating the system. It's different than Where's My Refund, which only updates once a day. The transcript system can update throughout the day. Chucho. How safe is the new ID transcript system? Supposedly, it is the safest that they have. It's safer. The whole reason they want everyone on this is because they feel that this is more secure than the former system. This ID system links to all the government agencies as well. So through the ID.me account, you can sign into your Social Security account, and you can see what you've earned lifetime on Social Security. If people have disability, you can see those balances and stuff like that. It's like a one-stop shop for all your government, basically anything that the government has related to you. So supposedly it's safer than anything else they've ever done. I certainly put off doing it because I'm always leery of the government forcing me to do stuff. But if I'm filing my taxes, I might as well have access to be able to see what they're doing on their end. So I broke down and signed us up for it this year. DV. I filed February 2nd. I'm an early filer. Will I probably be in the next batch? What you think? I think that you could, if there's no problems, you could be in this week's batch. Certainly could be in this week's batch, as long as there's no issues. Yeah, I filed 2/5. Am I an early filer? Yeah, that's an early filer. Anyone that pretty much files before the midpoint of the month, the government would consider an early filer. I filed February 4th. Do you think I'm going to see an update? My transcripts show an NA. So February 4th. Katie, you should see, as long as there's no problems, you should at the very least have your transcripts available to you tomorrow. And it's not unheard of to go from NA to an 846 in the same day. It's certainly possible. I'd be quite confident, as long as you're not getting any error codes on your where's my refund status, I'd be quite confident you're probably, at the very least, you should see the transcript update tomorrow and at least be available. Yvette wants to know if I started to see the 23 on my transcript. Do you think I will see a DD? You could, absolutely. Like I said, this update that's going to happen in the morning, this is going to be one of the biggest updates. Well, certainly it's going to be the biggest update that they've had so far this year. So anyone that's been waiting more than five days or more, 6 days or more, anyone that's filed 5 days or 6 days or more, so especially people like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, should be seeing movement and seeing updates tomorrow. Paige says, it sounds like Christmas and New Year's, our family was sick all month. Oh, I'm sorry, Paige. Horrible time of year to be not be feeling well. Yeah, we do keep on passing it to each other. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? What if I don't make an ID.me account? Does it matter? If I want to view it's only if I want to view my transcripts. It doesn't hold my return or anything like that if I don't. Now, whether or not you have an ID.me account has no effect on any processing of your return. It's just a way for you to get a little more information than the government would give you on where's my refund. So it certainly does not. It just means that you wouldn't see any sort of update tomorrow because have your transcripts, so you're waiting on until Saturday. Christelle, oh, you are logged into the transcript system. That's good. All right, so the customer file number is unnecessary. You don't have to select anything for that, and you can pretty much choose any reason for the transcript. I usually just choose either income verification or housing verification or something like that. But literally, the reason they ask that is they tell you which transcript, because there's 4 different transcripts. They tell you which one you should look at for that particular thing you chose. But all that matters is that you get to the next screen. So I usually just choose income verification or housing verification. And then once in there, you want to look for the account transcript. You're going to see 4 boxes. It's going to say, let me pull up a picture. I'll pull up a picture of what those boxes look like. I just have to go into my text video archives where I have the page of what that page looks like. Here we go. All right, so this is in this folder, and we're gonna that's what I'll do, share the screen. So I'm gonna open that picture up, and then I'm gonna share my screen, which is a window of this. So this is one from a few years ago, so hopefully you don't have any NAs. If you have any NAs, that just means that it's not processed yet. Now, like I said, this is from a few years ago. But what you would want to see is all 2023s available. Then you know that your return is at least going to hit the system. And then when the system updates tomorrow, you're going to click that account transcript section here, the account transcript. That's the transcript that we check. And you would click the latest one, 2023, when it's available. And that will show you all the codes and the refund issue code, which is what you really want to see. which I suppose I should show you what those codes will look like, because it sounds to me like you probably haven't checked your transcript before. So I'll show you an example of a transcript. So here's going to be an example of a transcript we wouldn't want to see. Stop that screen and present this screen. There's a way to make this a little bit bigger for you guys. But you would see some codes here. The 150 code just means that your return has hit the system. You'll see an 806, and then there'll be like a dollar amount further away. And that indicates any withholding that was done. And this is an example. This is an example of what you really wouldn't want to see. 766 and 768, those are good codes. You want to see those codes. But the 570 you wouldn't want to see. That's a refund hold, and it could be for any number of reasons. The 971 code would be a letter relating to that 570 code. So those are possible codes you might see. You wouldn't want to see those codes. I will show you a picture of what you would want to see. That's just an image of what is possible. But let's look at a good best case scenario. I'm going to stop sharing that. Going to open this one up and share that screen with you all. It should be this one. This is what we want to see. So like I said, you have the tax return file code. You'd have the 806, 766, and 768. Those are credits to your account. 766, child tax credit. 768, earned income credit, which is why we're on path in the first place. And then you want to see the 846 code. That means they have approved your tax return and are issuing the refund. And then further down that line, if you were to continue on to the right, I just cut it out of this picture, there would be a dollar amount for the refund. So that's what you would want to see. So I hope that helps with what you'd be looking for. And like I said, that's going to happen. Those updates are going to happen tomorrow. Anthony says, I missed a 1099 INT from Chime. It was only $30, but I filed before it came. I wasn't expecting this $30 1099. Yeah, it shouldn't. You know, usually if it's under $100, it's not going to hold anything up. The IRS has what they call a safe harbor rule, and the safe harbor rule qualifies anything under $100. They'll automatically make that adjustment. So if it's under $100 and it's missing, that should be an automatic adjustment they make. They may just process your return and then automatically correct it later on down the line. So $30 shouldn't flag you. And if it does, it falls under, like I said, it falls under the safe harbor rule. They should be able to correct that themselves. Hun, can you go back through and see if there's anything I've been missing? Just because there was so many in the chat. I'm gonna get a little more to drink. I'm parched. Honey, do you want some more?
Yes, please. The curry solet said a long time ago that where's my refund is down.
Oh.
Like at the beginning of the chat.
Taking the NyQuil tablets, guys, so I might pass out in the middle of this live stream.
Please don't. I don't know anything about taxes.
You're my producer.
Would everyone please like it?
Very good. That's a good idea. Make sure if you haven't,
Please
you like and subscribe. Well, if you're in the chat, you've already subscribed because that's required. Anthony, thanks, new subscriber. Awesome. Thank you for the subscription. But yeah, guys, make sure you leave a like. I haven't checked the like count on this. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing, how many likes do we have? 31 with 42 people in the chat. So while we're here, and we're on a little bit of a break here, I would just like to thank the sponsor of tonight's live stream. Martinelli's Sparkling Cider. It is a great alcoholic alternative if you have children and don't want to be drinking at family dinners or holidays. With their newest flavor, Sparkling Blush, which Caitlin and I are drinking tonight. You guys know how important it is to make sure you're having plenty of beverages and keeping yourself hydrated. So why not a little sparkling cider? All right, so Christelle have looked at the transcript before, but got it to work. I see all codes except 846. So hopefully tomorrow you will see the 846 code tomorrow. Waves of Tragedy, my last code from 12 a.m. is 768. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So the first update will put a 571 if there is one. If there is a hold on the account when you update, if there is any issue, there should be a 570 on the account. If there's not, then you should be okay. All right, so we're going to go back through. Simone says the transcript had all zeros. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That just means the numbers haven't been transcribed. Your return hasn't been transcribed to the system yet. We're here tonight because the system is going to be updating tonight, so hopefully that those zeros will disappear and your transcript will be populated tomorrow. Chucho cheering with the glass. You're welcome, Simone. So, once again on the timeline, everyone, we were going to see, hopefully, a very large number of transcript updates overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning. And hopefully many people are going to be seeing that 846, Caitlin and I included. And if you do see that 846 on your transcript tomorrow, you will get the update on Where's My Refund on Saturday. The expected deposit date is February 22nd, which is next Thursday. That said, if you did not do a refund advance and you have a no-hold bank, you should receive, you could receive your refund early. Other than that, if you did do the refund advance or you have a traditional bank that holds funds until the day of a deposit, you wouldn't get it until Thursday. If there were any non-good codes, would they already show up on the transcript when they show up after the update? My last code is 768. That's a good thing. Generally speaking, if the last update that occurred, you finished off at a 768, then the next update that occurs, you should see the 846 once path is released. So, should be a good thing. Chucho wants to know when we're going live again. Well, that's an interesting question, because things in the Scott household are about to change drastically. As I am, me personally, I am running for a local office in our town. So my time is going to be, my available time to do stuff like this is going to be diminished, because it's going to, if I was to get elected, which the election is in 2 weeks. If I am to get elected, it is going to reduce my availability for other things. And I have some preparations to do, because I'm going to have to make a big speech. And make my appeal to the residents of my town and the people in this particular office I'm running for. Thank you, Chucho. Arian Galloway says, I'm a great person, and we all know we'll get it. Well, I hope I do, but no guarantees. Do have an opponent, so no guarantees. I wanted to take the Donald Trump route and just insult my opponent, but Caitlin won't let me. I wouldn't do that anyway, because I try not to insult people. I try to be a good person. No one heard that because your microphone's off. If you guys didn't hear that, my wife just told me I'm a horrible person and I'm not gonna get at the office. Chucho thanks you too. Chucho thanks you too, Caitlin. Mrs. Marie, would the 571 code be in the first update, or can it take hours or days as well? So the 570 code, just if there was going to be one, at some point it would pop up. And it would pop up before an 846 ever would. So if you see an 846, you obviously know you're not going to get the 570 code. But if you've been able to check your transcript and you haven't seen like your last code left off at your credits, it's more than likely you're not going to see a 570 code. Maurice says I'll get it. We'll see. I have to make a good impression on the people of my town. I'm running for our town's school committee. Yeah, so gotta start somewhere. School committee, city council, and then I'll be the mayor. Maurice wants to know if is it normal to not see an update at all yet? Yeah, there wouldn't be any updates yet, especially if you're on Path. There would not be any updates until after midnight, so that's perfectly normal. Waves of Tragedy. Did you get any snow? Here in Chicopee, we barely got any. Well, let me tell you. I made a meme for this. And my meme will show you, answer your question, because I thought it was hilarious. Thoughts and prayers. If you guys can't see, it's two people having a picnic overlooking the city of Boston in beautiful weather. Because all the weather people were predicting, we were literally in our area, they were predicting up to a foot of snow, and we got literally rain.
And ice.
A little bit of ice.
And they canceled school in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, we got canceled. They canceled school the day before, too. I have been waiting 14 days for Path Act to lift, as we all have. And the transcript is blank, filed on February 1st. So hopefully, when it updates tomorrow, all those numbers will populate for you, and fingers crossed, you'll see that 846 refund issued code. Maurice, I answered this question earlier. There is no need to be concerned if you don't see a path message. Many people never see a path message. As I said, Caitlin and I personally, since path was passed in 2015, we have never once gotten that message on where's my refund. So. Chucho, good question. Good question and not a good question. Good question from you. If the Senate approves the new credit, how much more will it be? And will we get a check or will it be deposited? The Senate's not going to approve it, so we don't need to worry about it. They've made it abundantly clear they are not passing that child tax credit. So if they were somehow to pass it, the IRS has already stated they would automatically correct any credits and issue the refund probably by check. Angelica just came in. Is there anything that we were looking for on our transcripts today, or will there be updates tomorrow? Filed and accepted 129. So you'll be looking tomorrow, Friday. You know, starting at midnight tonight. Some people will update. Very few. More people will update 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. And then as the day goes on, with the biggest updates coming from 5, 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., that's when all the really big updates are going to start happening, and people will start seeing those 846s drop with a date of 2/22 next Thursday. And if you get that update 846, then on Saturday, the Where's My Refund tool will update as well with 2 bars. Waves of Tragedy, I got an update. Thought it wouldn't happen until tonight, so why did mine update with a 768? Sometimes it updates the day the path gets released. This happened last year. It depends on if you're in 05 or if you check your cycle code. If you're in 04, you would update sooner than Friday. Like if your cycle code was 04 or 03. If your cycle code was 05. Last year, there were some people that were 05s that saw the credits update the day that path got released. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thanks, hon. The cycle code, you would, if you look at, hold on, let me pull it up. I'll show you where it looks like on the transcript. I have a full transcript here somewhere. I have too many pictures. I have a backlog of pictures here in my... Okay, this one doesn't have a cycle code on it because I cut it out. Okay. So I'm going to stop this screen and I'm going to share this picture again. So if you look at the 150 section, tax return filed, and then next to it, you'll see cycle. This one's 2020, but yours would say 2020, 2023, I might say 2024 because it's this year. I'd have to look at my transcript because it's like this year's cycle. It's this year, even though the tax return is from 2023, the tax cycle is this year's tax cycle. So we would say like 2024, 04, 05, 06, 07, that's the week. And then 01 through 05 is the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 05 is actually a Thursday, but those updates happen on Fridays. So if you're in 05, you know you're going to see the transcript update on Friday. If it's 04, you'd see it on a Thursday. Or literally any day of the week, really. But last year what was happening, the first week that Path was released, and maybe this year too, some people that were 05s saw an update on Thursday instead of Friday, the day that Path got released. Yvette said she moved from an 05 to an 02. That's actually a good thing. That means you're a daily. That means your return could actually, your transcript could update any day, Monday through Friday. You're not just waiting on Fridays anymore. You're a daily now, which means dailies can update any day of the week. Waves of Tragedy. Just shout me out when you look at that cycle code. Let me know what it is. I'm curious. It's a data point. I'm going to refill my drink. Hey, why don't you give a shout out to anyone that we haven't given shout outs to yet?
Hello, everybody.
No, like specifically people.
I think we're all caught up.
Well, anyone that you haven't said hi to.
A bunch of people are saying you will get the office, so that's very supportive and nice. And Waves of Tragedy says he's a 704 code.
That's why you updated. So that means even if you don't update tomorrow, which you probably will, but even if you didn't update tomorrow, you could still update next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can update any day because you're an 04 code, not an 05. But that's why you updated on today, because you're an 04, not an 05. And thanks for letting me know. Yvette wants to know what the date on the side of the cycle code 030424 means. That's a post date for processing. They post date a lot of their actions, so it's like a target date. Hopefully, the system wants your return fully processed by that date, and then that date can change based on anything that might happen with the return. Does not mean that it's going to take that long. It just means that's like the deadline that the system sets for itself. Waves of Tragedy wants to know how long the watch party's going for. If we weren't sick, I'd probably go straight through the time we start seeing the first updates, but unfortunately it's probably not going to go that much longer because I'm running out of gas. I took some NyQuil. And I have glasses on, so you can't see the bags under my eyes because I haven't been sleeping a whole lot. And Caitlin's falling asleep on me over here.
All right, Logan. What's the earliest for the tax return?
Earliest? For the update or for the actual deposit? For the update, we're going to start seeing them tomorrow, early morning. For the actual deposits, they're going to be scheduled for February 22nd, which is next Thursday. And people that have no-hold banks, non-traditional banks like Chime, NetSpend, Green Dot, if they didn't do a refund advance, they could actually see those refunds even sooner if their bank releases them. I will. I have the final vote is on Thursday the 29th. So I definitely won't be live streaming that night because that's a key night in the process. And I will let you guys know if you're really curious. I have to finish writing my big pitch. I have some thoughts. I haven't completely finished it yet. It's probably going to involve a lot of this, maybe maybe some of this. Not quite where it's supposed to be. Waves of Tragedy. If you have a deadline, that means you should get the 846 around then or before. Hopefully, if nothing goes wrong. Usually a couple weeks before that, honestly. I really appreciate you and your wife taking the time out to offer help with these questions. Yes. That's why we're here tonight, even pushing through the sickness. A lot of questions people have. I try to be here for people because we're pretty much all in the same boat. All under the same stress. And I've long believed that the IRS doesn't really do a good job of conveying a lot of the information that they could. And where I have a lot of knowledge of the system, I'm happy to pass along what I do know and help in any way I can, in whatever limited fashion that is. Yvette has a great question. Monday is a holiday, President's Day. Will the date move back and meet up with the next DD? So the date, a Friday update on your transcripts Saturday Where's My Refund update. Traditionally, and after this week, will always yield a Wednesday direct deposit. But because of the holiday this week, instead of Wednesday, the direct deposit is going to fall on Thursday. So it pushes it back by 1 day. So the direct deposit will be for 2/22. Trivial Collie says, 1 year I filed and Where's My Refunds said processing. Still said. I'm assuming you mean like after you got your refund? That was the year that, like 2021, probably. That happened. It was a huge thing that happened. Happened to almost everybody, us included. I made a video about it that went viral. I made more money on that video than I've ever made on a video before. And within like a week, it had like 200,000 views because it happened to everybody and everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. Where it was just stuck on processing or 1 bar or processing, it wasn't moving and people were getting their refunds and Where's My Refunds was still showing the same message. That's why I always tell people you cannot count on Where's My Refund. The transcript is the way to tell. You'll never get a refund if it's not reflected on your transcript. It's just not a thing. Yes. It'll likely, unless there is some sort of hold that pops up on your transcript, the deadline, you know, it's usually, like I said, a week or two before that you'll actually get your refund. So, or you'll actually be done processing. It's just an internal post deadline, and that can change. It can actually move down sooner. It can go up a week if they think, for example, if you didn't get processed this week, next week they could actually change that deadline, but they could still process it anyway, and they would push it like another week. But so that line is never set in stone. It can always change. It's a fluid date. I try to tell people not to read too much into those dates because they're not as much as a concern as the other dates. For example, the 846 date. So we got 41 people in the chat. And we were at, let's see, 35 likes? I see 35 likes, so... Make sure, guys, if you haven't liked yet, make sure you drop a like on that. Smash that button. I know Caitlin addressed some of these comments earlier, but I will address them myself as well. So Juggernaut said earlier, this channel has been a lifesaver. Back in 2022, H&R made a mistake and it was causing me issues, but lucky for me, I came across this channel. I make sure to show up every year to show support, of which I am very grateful. I appreciate everyone's support on this channel that's helped this channel grow over the years. Those that come back every year and tune into the streams and have fun with us. I very much appreciate you all. That's why I do these for you guys, to help out in any way I can and give back via the form of answering your questions and telling jokes and doing whatever I can for you guys. Josh's Adventures also said, I've been coming to this channel for about 3 to 4 years. The info he gives on when dispatch happens and the issues that occur and how to fix is a stress reducer. Plus, sometimes we get to see his art. Thanks, Josh. All right, Caitlin has informed me. My producer has informed me that there's some new questions. Okay, Waves of Tragedy said my last code is 768 and I haven't did the deadline, so should I get my 846 soon? Yeah. I believe I'm going to have faith that you're going to see an update overnight tonight, sometime tomorrow. But like I said, because you're in 04 on your cycle code, even if you didn't get it tomorrow, you could still update on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any one of those days next week too. So you're not like the rest of us where you have to wait for another full week, even if it doesn't update tomorrow. You could literally update any day next week. But you should get one soon. As long as there's no hold code, you could perhaps see one tomorrow. Katie wants to know, is it a good sign if I have a tax return received? Topic 152 for 2 weeks. Yeah, this year, it's a good sign. If the best sign is that if you don't have any error message. So they did a revamp of the system this year to try to alert people sooner if there's issues with their return. So as long as you don't have an error code when you check your Where's My Refund telling you that there's some sort of issue, you should be pretty good because they did update the system this year to let people know sooner. So hopefully you'll see that update. If you can't check your transcripts, hopefully you'll be able to check the Where's My Refund on Saturday and see the update. Yes and No says hello. Hello. Triple wants to know when I win mayor, will I go for governor as well? No. Absolutely not. I don't even know if I would go for mayor, honestly. I just felt, honestly, I felt compelled. Our school district has been having a lot of issues lately, particularly with violence in the schools. And not just our kids, but a lot of kids are across the town. I teach driver's ed, so I deal with a lot of the children in our town as well. And just a lot of the kids in our school have a lot of anxiety about going to school every day and the violence that occurs. And that's a big issue. It's also, what also is a big issue is I feel like I can be a voice for a lot of the students and families that feel they don't have a voice. Because I feel like a lot of the policies and stuff that happens within the schools leaves a lot of the lesser fortunate families out and with no say in their children's education. And a lot of the students get left behind. So I feel like I can be a voice for those people that don't feel they have a voice as well. So that's my goal. That's my vision, to serve my community and particularly help all the students in our town, but also those students that struggle, those students that are underrepresented, regardless of their race, gender identity, sexual orientation, whatever. They all deserve equal treatment. They all deserve a safe place to go to school, and the teachers deserve the tools to help those children excel and become the best they can be. So I feel like the school committee is a good place to implement those visions. Benjamin, just checked my transcript and there are no transaction codes. Should I be worried? No. It just hasn't hit the system yet. It could, like I said, the update is coming tonight. There is a big update coming tonight, so you could check tomorrow throughout the day and start seeing those codes populate. And you can go from no codes to an 846 the same day. So no reason to panic. Absolutely no reason to panic. The updates just haven't occurred yet. Wow, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. This is longer than I was expecting. I'm not feeling good. Yes and No. Path Act filed February 6th. Will it update tonight? Well, there's going to be an update tonight. So hopefully you'll be included. So, and where's my refund? 152 is a good... I got confused. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing good or bad about code 152. 152 is literally the general information about how you receive your direct deposit or your refund. It's a generic code. And like I said, there are new codes. They've updated the system. So if there's problems with returns, they're trying to catch them sooner and let tax filers know. So anything that's not on your Where's My Refund page, anything that's not a trouble code is a good code. Yep, NA is no problem, Katie. So hopefully when the updates occur tonight, you will see them available. Waves of Tragedy said, I was telling my brother about what I have learned from you and told him the transcript is the way to go. / this channel is the way. Well, I'm not starting a cult here. I don't want anyone to think... Oh! The way of DS Entertainment. Transcripts are the way to go. Absolutely. 100%. Transcripts are the way to go if you want to know the status of your refund. Yvette says, that is wonderful because that's what kids need as a voice. I wish I could vote. Thanks, Yvette. I'm from California. We need better superintendent, mayor, governor, and teachers' pay. Need pay increase and more support. That's basically what we need in our town. I think that's probably needed in school districts across the country. And, you know, like I said, I'm doing this in my town. I encourage anyone, if you want to make a difference, best way to make a difference is like, let's face it, none of us are probably ever going to be president or a senator or a representative, but you can certainly make a difference in your own local community. And if there's ever opportunities for you to run for a local office, I recommend someone do it, because you start paying attention to what goes on in like your own local town, you'd be shocked at some of the things that go like under the radar and some of the policies that get passed. And so the best way you can be informed, the best way you can influence what happens, you know, in-house, your local community is really the most important community anyway, because those are the things you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Those are the people you deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I chose school committee because obviously I have 3 children in the schools. As a teacher and educator, I've dealt with the children in the schools. I've seen a lot of the issues, and the kids are the future. So they're going to be the future leaders of, you know, many of them could be the future leaders of that community. So you want to prepare them for that as well. This is your speech. It sounds good. That's basically, essentially part of the speech I'm making about my vision and being a voice for the unheard. Waves of Tragedy says you don't want a 571 code. You do want a 571 code, though. That's the thing. You don't want a 570 code. The 571 code means it released the 570. So you don't want a 570, and if you get one, you want the 571 as soon as possible. All right, Katie Cronin. Oh boy. Whew. I have a 922 code with $0 and a 2/20 date. What does that mean? 922 is an income match. So there could be a little bit of delay in the refund because they're going to match your income. So either something got underreported or didn't get reported at all, or something you submitted didn't fully match up with what they have in their system from an employer or whoever issued a W-2 or 1099. So those can sometimes take a while to clear up. They're probably going to send you a letter requesting more information if I had to guess. They could also just tell you that they're going to check it automatically. But the 922 is an income match code. So they're checking verifications. You'll probably get a CP2000 letter, I think, is what they will issue. So honestly, not a great code to have, I'm sorry. It's always best to start at the source. Local is the way to go. I always tell my peers, if you don't vote locally, but you vote nationally, you're only prolonging the problem. Absolutely correct. Yeah. Get involved. I mean, some people are just apathetic and don't want to be involved, and that's fine. I mean, your right as an American citizen is to live your life how you want to. And some of us just feel more compelled to try to make a difference. And that's fine. Some people don't want to. But if you want to, go local. That's for sure. Oh no. We have another 922 with a $0 next to it. Is there a need to worry? Oh, there is no need to worry. 922 is not a good code to have. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not a good code. Here's a treasure. You can show everyone the codes you don't want to have and what they mean. I do have a series of videos I did. I'm not going to go through all those codes tonight. I mean, I can I'll tell you what they are, but do I have slides for this? I might have slides for this. Oh, I actually might have deleted them because I was like, oh, I won't have to make that. I already made a video on this. I won't have to do it. But the big ones you don't usually want to see. 922 is... So going back to this one, like I said, it's an income match. So this is like one of those things that you almost don't have control over once it triggers, because they're now going to contact your employer or whoever else you got income from to verify and match up. So you're completely at the mercy of the IRS and how long all that stuff takes. That's the problem with it. It could be something that could clear up quickly, but you never know with the IRS with how long they take with stuff. That's the problem with it. It's not the worst code you can have, but it's not a great code to have. One of the worst codes you could have is a 420 on your transcript. 420. That's like a full-blown audit. That means they're going to be looking at maybe not even this year's return, but a previous year's return. In which case, they're not issuing you anything at that point. 570, that's the refund freeze code. That's a general code for so many different things that could have triggered it. And that can take anywhere from a few days to a few months to resolve, depending on what the issue is. If it's something like an identity verification, that's fairly quick. You can get that resolved within a week or two. If it's something more serious, it takes longer. Itemized deductions take a long time to sort out. A lot of times you'll get a 570 code for itemized deductions a lot of times, particularly if you have a big fluctuation in income. So I don't want people thinking that negatively yet. I mean, let's just wait for the updates tomorrow and see what happens with the updates tomorrow. We're all pulling for that 846. We're going to think positive. 846. That's what we want. We want to see those 846 codes. Hey, we're up to 43 likes. I appreciate it, everybody. So we're now at the match of viewers to like ratio. I'm pleased with that. Thank you, everybody. Brittany Brown wants to know, when does Path Act lift? Path Act officially lifted today, which is why we're here tonight. Path Act lifted today. The first major update for transcripts for the Path Act filers will be in the morning tomorrow. Yes and no wants to know, what time do the transcripts update? Throughout the day tomorrow. They will update beginning at midnight and continuing all the way through tomorrow afternoon. So when you wake up in the morning, you can check them. You may be fully updated. You may be partially updated. You may not have an update yet. Doesn't mean you won't see an update. Till the business day ends tomorrow. The update ends probably around 6 p.m. or so tomorrow. It can update anytime before that. How you doing on that blush over there, honey? You're all set? Really? You can go to bed if you want. I'm gonna go for a few more minutes. I'll mute you and you can say goodnight to everybody. Oh, I said I'll unmute you and you can say goodnight to everybody. Caitlin's getting tired.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody say bye to Caitlin.
Bye.
Oh no, where's my I took it off screen.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you don't sound good.
No, I'm leaking and my throat is on fire.
Sorry guys, I'm just opening my next beverage. A bunch of people said goodnight, hun, just so you know.
Oh, that's very nice. I'm gonna see.
I think it's time for a new can opener. Yes, of course I will. Oh, they don't give you the lids like they used to. All right. Yes and no. Will non-path returns update as well? Yep. Anyone with an 05 can update. It's not just limited to path actors. Anyone can update. It's just this is the big update that a lot of path people have been waiting for since they've been waiting for a few weeks for the Path Act to lift. So this is the first update after the lift. And I'll be honest with you guys, I hit that NyQuil and that's it's starting to kick in. So I'm gonna run out of steam soon as well. Hopefully I'll pass out in my NyQuil coma and wake up to an 846 code. I think I might have lost a like, guys. I don't think someone liked the answer they got. Can't lie to people. I'm not gonna lie about information and tell people good news just because that's what they want to hear. Sometimes I have to tell the truth. Paige, I wish they would get rid of Path 2. I went on a rant about this a couple weeks ago on one of my live streams. It's just it basically. I don't believe that the PATH Act has achieved whatever the goal that they claimed it was setting out to do. I don't think it achieved that goal. In fact, I think it has done the opposite. Because they were trying to claim that holding the credits back until later in the season could prevent fraud, people claiming what they weren't supposed to do. But I think if they were to look at the stats, what's actually happened over time since the PATH Act was passed is that there's been more fraud. There's been more fraudulent. It gives, people with bad intentions more time to file fraudulent tax returns in other people's names and other people's social security numbers and claim things that they shouldn't be. Why do they put the PATH Act? They claim it's to give the IRS time to verify the information of those credits, earned income credit and additional child tax credit, because those are fully refundable credits, meaning whatever you get for the credit, if you don't owe anything to the IRS after your other deductions and credits and you still have those credits, they're fully refundable, meaning you get that whole amount back. So because of that, they tend to cause much larger refunds, and they want to make sure that the government isn't giving out more money than they should. So they want to give the IRS more time to verify those returns. That's what they would say the intention is anyway. I'm just going to go back through the chat, guys, and see if I missed anything. Waves of tragedy. They are fast to take our money, but slow to return them. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, if you just think about, what was it? What year did they, it was 2021. Was it 2021 or 2022 that they changed the amount of refundable, they changed the unemployment, what could be taxed. But it took them like months to sort it out. So they ended up paying people like refunds on unemployment that it took them like months to sort it all out and pay people money back that they owed them, basically. But if that was you, they would come after you nonstop. They'd be calling your phone. They'd be calling your employer. They'd be garnishing. The government can garnish your wages. They can freeze your bank accounts if you owe them money. If you owe them enough, and you're far enough behind, they'll freeze your accounts and just take everything you have. I remember when Biden wanted to abolish the IRS and raise our taxes. That's usually more of a Republican thing when they want to abolish the IRS. The raise in taxes I can certainly see with Biden. I actually wish they would simplify the tax system in some way. There has to be a way to simplify it. So, just to conclude, if WMR, I have a PATH Act letter, and I have a code 152, you're fine. You're good. You should check on Saturday, and you will hopefully see 2 bars, because everything else looks okay. So Saturday, when you wake up Saturday morning, when where my refund updates start, you should hopefully have one. Unfortunately, without the transcript, there's no way to know for sure, but... I know you'll keep me posted, Chucho. I can always count on you to keep me posted on what's going on with you, as well as Joseph. I don't know if he's still in here. There's certain viewers I have that I know will contact me. Let me know what's going on and keep me posted. I like to know what's going on with you guys, so I know that it's just nice to know when you guys know and I know that everyone's going to be okay. They say that the IRS attacks middle and lower class because they don't have big shot lawyers. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like it sometimes. Yeah, the thing is it's easier to go after. It's cheaper and easier to go after middle class and lower class people because, yeah, we don't have the resources to fight back. So it's punching down is an easy target. They try to go after people that make more money, and they have not just legal teams, but they just have the resources to stretch it out over a long period of time and complicate and convolute things. So it's a frustrating system, and there's no broad stroke, simple answer for it all to fix it, but Waves of Tragedy says, I've been here for the past 3 years, and you are my main guy I go to when it comes to my taxes. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Chucha, remember 2 or 3 years ago, I forgot to report the 1099 I built from unemployment. I haven't been charged anything. They'll eventually catch that. They might have already caught it and corrected it though, Chucho, because if I recall correctly, wasn't your return held up for a while with that? So they might have already fixed it anyway. It just might not have been enough to change how much your refund was. I trust you more than I trust my tax guy. It's funny because I'm not a CPA. I'm not like an accountant, although I've certainly done my fair share of taxes. I just know the ins and outs of the system, and I know a lot of things about how the e-file system and how the processing system works from years of covering it, research, which started. What year is it? 2024. So it started 11 years ago when I was working in radio and was doing a feature on the IRS, and I learned all sorts of things about the e-file system that I couldn't fathom before that. And I was like, wow, how are they not letting people know this stuff? Probably because it's boring. But it is not the most entertaining thing. But it is like knowledge that once you get a grasp of it, and it can help you figure out like where you stand with everything. And the thing about it is, so I've been doing videos like this and covering tax refunds and stuff like that for like 11 years now, and like most of the information that's kind of like related to this area of how I cover it, that you see on the internet from other people and other sources, it all kind of traces back to my original videos I used to make and all those original reports I used to do. So I guess in some way you could say my little channel has paved the way for success for many other tax channels. Yep, you're right. 2 years ago, my accountant said I would get a certain amount back, but I got less, so I think they corrected it. Yeah, because I remember you were held up for a while, And we determined that's probably what it was the missing 1099G. And you said you got less back, so they probably already fixed it. And so you were indeed charged, just, automatically and adjusted. Which is obviously probably the best case scenario. The worst case scenario would be them sending you a letter saying, hey, you owe us this much money, write us a check. Well, actually, probably the worst case scenario would be, you owe us this much money, we're going to freeze all your assets. That's the worst case scenario. All right, guys. Well, we're winding down here. I'm fading fast, and I don't want to fall asleep midstream. So I'm just going to wrap this up and conclude with you all that hopefully most of us are going to see that 846 code pop up on the transcripts tomorrow morning, which is Friday. Remember, if you do see the 846 tomorrow, it can happen anytime throughout the day. If it updates with the 846, you will see the Where's My Refund update on Saturday morning with 2 bars and that 2/22 direct deposit date. So I wish you all the best. I hope we all update together and can celebrate and a 2/22 deposit date. I will let you know moving forward. I'll post updates on future streams. Like I said, with running for office now, it kind of changes my availability, but I do hope to get some more streams in. So with that said, I hope you all have a great night. I'm going to get some sleep. Hopefully you all do too. Don't stay up all night and keep checking the transcript system. Get some sleep. And we'll see you all soon. Have a great night.